Hey guys, Eli here. So today again we are back in the gym in a sterile environment, but it's good as it gets right now because we don't have the range in other environments. We're 4-on-4 sadly. But we got a lot of feedback regarding some of the stuff I showed you in the last days and weeks. I never thought it would be really interesting for people because I see fitness as a private thing, and it's something that is like ABC. It's being expected from you to be able to do, right? But apparently many people had questions, especially about the mechanics and how the human body works in this regard. And today I want to show you a really good drill, which I like to use, mostly because it benefits me in other fields of performance. And this drill is not necessarily as it's going to be per se a tactic, but this drill allows me to work on certain things that I will need in order to facilitate certain skills and techniques. Before we start, really quick, credit where credit due. I got this drill from a friend of mine, Daniel, from the UK, from Move3. Daniel is coming from the background of human performance. I tagged him in the comments. He's a really great guy, and much like us, he's more interested in the science behind movement, shooting, stability, all that kind of stuff, neurology, as he also understands that all of this cool guy in tattoos is a cool thing, but we need to focus on what really happened and how we need to tailor our training to reality. Again, we can do millions of repetitions, but just because I'm doing 5,000 repetitions, there is no guarantee that action will really take place, okay? Good, so today what I want to focus on is actually mobility and working a little bit on how the body moves between different directions and dimensions. So, really quick, so as you can see here, I have the 12 o'clock here, the cone, or disc, whatever you want to call it. I have here my 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and whatever, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you decide. Alright, so this drill starts in a very simple way, right? I'm going to have on my pistol out, you can do it also without it. Right here in the center, you need to be in a good shooting, normal shooting position. There is no such a thing as a good shooting position, right? Not so realistic, but proper fighting position, okay, like body alarm response, forward, grip is strong, tight, everything. And you can be creative a little bit and do it in different ways, but let's keep it basic. All you have to do is decide in which direction you want to move. So for example, if I'm right here in a compressed training, the only thing I have to do is launch my leg and kick that pistol out. Compress, come back to the center. Now the idea is that you don't do too much of a micro movement, alright? One general movement, perhaps two, but the point is as explosive as possible and direct as possible. So no shuffling around whatsoever, or throwing your back to the back, basically, like some people do. So I'll show you again how it looks like. For example, if I'm attacking right now the right side, okay, you saw I gave a quick look. You can do it if you want to. Compress, back to the center. Attack the left side, attack, back, center. Attacking the front, back. Attacking backward, back. Okay, that's how it will look like. You can a little bit improvise. I did it already for the last 1 hour with weights and different stuff, and it's really cool. It's really, really nice, and it's challenging, and it's more interesting than telling it to the camera. But in all seriousness, for you guys, it's maybe something really useful, because when we're training this in courses, especially when we talk about mobility, for example CQB, we see people having really serious lack of mobility, flexibility, and stability around that area, right? So they start to tilt their body or be like, like stiff. And we really need to work on that, because those movements, first of all, are later on being translated into explosive movements of the X, stuff like this, entering covers, transition between covers, and all that kind of stuff, okay? I don't want to talk too much and make it boring for you. So, really quick again, one more time. Right here, compress, ready, whatever you prefer. From here, preferably in one movement, pistol is out. As you can see, hips to the target. We want to replicate the same body alarm response where we square ourselves with the target. Eyes above the side, back to me, compress, back. Then again. Okay, now I just want to emphasize one more thing. I don't want you guys to do stuff like this or be like, not so stable. If I'm attacking, for example, at 2 o'clock, what I want to do is, and I have there a target by the way, so if I'm looking that direction, I'm not ignoring you. If I'm attacking at 2 o'clock, right, I want to have a perfect contact with the ground with my feet. What we see sometimes behind barricade work, for example, it won't be like this, but a little bit more open, is that guys having their feet like this, alright? And they have much more weight on their knee, and they're generally not so stable. We want to have a really good grip on the ground. So again, if I'm attacking at 2 o'clock, I want to have that very a strong contact point with the ground, okay? Very important. Of course, if I'm in a bailout position over here, it's less important because obviously in reality I will flinch away, but that's where it brings me to the next point. What we try to create with this drill is basically the following. What we want to do is, we want to work on our ability to move off one point to the other. Whether it's going to be in a takeoff situation, which you can count out of course and learn exactly what it means, or generally when I'm running to cover or between covers, for example. Okay? Good. Now, if I need to leave cover and catch another cover, for example, you know what, I'll give you better context. If I need to jump off the X and move really quick to the next point, I need to have the mobility capability and also the stability, right? So, if you look now at my feet, right? When I'm asking guys to get off that point before I will shoot them, as soon as the beeper goes on, they start to turn the body all the way around, they start to hold in place. What we want to have is people really using the same movements with their body, but this time instead of the previous drill, in continuous movements. So it will look like this. I don't have a shotgun right now, I will just say beep. So if there is a beep, I'm really flying off that point. So again, in the slow motion position, if I'm here, there is a beep, then I'm really off that X. I have that capability, okay? So for example, when we are training in a shooting range and we cover movement, basic movement, we ask guys to sprint to 1 kilometer from there to, take off either diagonally in this direction or in that direction, okay? And that's where you see people having deficiency, because their hips are not working with the body properly and so on. So again, let's say I'm running here, I'm stopping beep, I can already go into takeoff, point trim, whatever one hand, like we often see in video, and that's it. So that's again another explanation. Let me show you another context where this could be pretty useful. So for example, let's talk about actually getting into cover, right? So one of the things, we see it pretty often is that, again, when we ask people to get into cover, and again, this will be just a drill. From here, for example, in our courses, and they're running into the cover because then there is a threat, they run, but because of that lack of stability and mobility, they stop like this, or they stop like this. This is not a cover, we cover it anyway in the CQB courses. Instead, what we want our guys to be able to do is to jump off and already stop in a good position. So again, one more time. If I am here and something happens, I can already take off, you see, and get into a good position. So, if I'll show it one more time, let's say I'm right here, and this is really fun on the camera to do it, because that's not my thing, but it's just flow with it. If I have to get off, if you recognize that movement coming here from the hips, it brings me, and I can already run into the cover, and already land there in a good position. That's just in short, just to show you what's the point behind it. Again, for some people it might look like some cool guy stuff, really not. It's beneficial because we work on the body. It's your responsibility, however, to combine that physical capability with marksmanship, with identification drill, and all that kind of stuff. Okay? So again, visit Daniel from Move 3. Really good stuff with her. We will cooperate more in the future. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, feel free to comment. See you later.